Okay, good morning. Lindsay Knapp here in Southeast Wisconsin. I am doing Real Talk with Realtor as we are building a WISCO-LIFE. And those are all just like the buzzwords around the taglines of me saying, I am here to help you with your real estate needs. And I want to make sure that you guys have really good content to make educated and empowered decisions as buyers and as sellers out on the market, and as investors and relocators too. We don't want to misuse. So today, we are going to be talking about why is it so intimidating to pick up the phone and call a lender, right? How many of you as first-time homeowners out there have thought, I know I need to call the bank, I just don't want to. Well, there may be a couple of reasons for that, and I want to give you guys a really great session on how to overcome that and how to get on with really pursuing home ownership. And it can be as simple as just knowing what to ask. So I just spent this week, first of all, let me give you my best tips and tricks for today. I've got three recommendations for you, okay? I live in Wisconsin, Southeast Wisconsin, right on Lake Michigan, and it is frigid and all of the ponds are frozen out here. So if you are relocating into the state, or you are someone who knows all too well just how incredibly cold it can be in the winter, I recently went on this 10-day kick the caffeine thing. So you can trust me. Well, at least I'm not caffeinated, but I do feel a little, out of my normal thing. So anyhow, I went off of caffeine and I decided instead I was just gonna do 10 days of nice, clean, warm drinks. And this has been my favorite tea. Look at that. Organic herbal cold care, elderflower spice. Okay. So for those of you who are cold at home, my second recommendation, I have to tell you, this is kind of the coolest little gadget I've discovered. It's plugged in right now, but it is essentially like a warmer for your cup to sit on. So it lays flat and you can give it its little options of like hot, medium, cool, or turn it off. It plugs in and you just sit your little teacup right on top of it like this, and it stays warm. So you can avoid reheating your coffee 900 times like I have done at times in my life. So those are my two recommendations. My third recommendation is what our session is about today. It is basically put together a concise list of questions that you are going to ask your lender. And you might be saying, I don't know what I don't know. I have no idea how to talk to a lender. I have no idea what a loan officer does all day, sitting behind their desk, tapping on their computer. I don't know anything about finances. I don't know what kinds of loans are out there. Well, today I'm going to take you through, I actually have a great tool for you. If you would like a list of the top 20 questions you should be asking your lender, just to help you get on the phone and figure out what is it that we're talking about, just go ahead and type down in the comments, lender questions. And if I see that comment, I'll go back through and make sure to send you my top 20 questions that any buyer should be asking their lender. Now, if you're a first-time homeowner, this session is really for you. These are for the people who are branching out. Maybe they've been renting for a while, they're branching out. A first-time homeowner, let me just also say, is defined by someone who has not owned property in the last 3 years. So maybe you have purchased and owned a home, but you've stepped out of home ownership for 3 years, and now you're stepping back in. That also quantifies you as a first-time home buyer. And the reason that that can be exciting is because there are specific types of grants, kind of special loans that are available, maybe lower interest rates that are available when you're looking to finance the purchase of a house. So I just spent the week with 4 incredible loan officers It was like Love Your Lender week for me leading up to Valentine's Day. And I just wanted to find out what types of products are available for buyers right now, from a couple of different mortgage companies. I wanted to find out how they are viewing the market in 2025. Like, is it all doldrummy? Nobody can buy a house anymore. Or is there any level of optimism around people purchasing homes? And then I also wanted to just kind of get to the bottom of what specific lenders really are excited about in their job. Why do people do what they do? Why are lenders excited about their job? Okay, so let's first of all talk about why it can be intimidating oh, that's so nice, to call a lender. Well, one, sometimes lenders feel like sharks, just like real estate agents can feel like prospecting sharks. So you can feel a little bit of the overwhelm of like, they just want my business. And the truth is, yes, a lender actually is getting your business, but that means that they work for you. So some of the top qualities you are going to want to look for when you are putting yourself out there, one, just frame it in this way. You get to hire your lender. So shop around. Interview a couple different banks. You don't automatically have to go with your bank. You can go to a couple of different, you can go to loan mortgage companies. You can go to different banks. You can go to credit unions. There's options available for you. So just because you bank at ABC Bank in Wisconsin, it does not mean that you have to secure your loan through them. So I would just say, shop around. Know what it is that you are looking for in a relationship with your lender. Okay, so this person is going to be walking with you through the transaction. What you are going to want first and foremost is clear and patient communication. And most loan officers that, lender, loan officer that go into this field, understand that a lot of people do not live in the world of finance the way that they do, in and out. So oftentimes when I'm coming into a new situation and I'm learning new language, I will just say, listen, talk to me like I'm a kindergartner. Because I am a kindergartner when it comes to this brand new topic. And a really good lender is going to take the time to answer your questions, to, even if you just say, I don't know anything about anything, like start at A and let's get to Z. A really good loan officer is going to say, okay, this is what it means. We're going to be starting with expectations. We're going to be following up with pre-approval. And I want to take you through that process and what it means to be approved by a lender or pre-approved by a lender. So patient and clear communication. You also want to look for a lender that has competitive rates and fees. So not every lender lends the same way, and not every lender has the same access to interest rates. And every single client, meaning you, buyer, is different. Okay, you have different financial circumstances. Your credit score is a little bit different than the last guy. Your debt to income ratio is different than the last guy. So your loan is customized. Every single loan is customized towards you, but the rates should be competitive. So right now, lots of people out there are looking at 2025 and they're just saying, well, we're just hoping that those interest rates are going to come back down to 3.2. Okay, if that is what you are waiting for to purchase a house, you are probably not going to own a house in this lifetime. And that isn't me being like scare tactic. It's just that the market has significantly changed. The cost of goods to build houses is higher. The demand is higher. It's just not the same market as when you purchased your house way back 15 years ago, or your parents did. So interest rates right now, what can you expect? Every loan officer I've talked to has said, we feel great when we can get someone a 6-point low. Okay, 6.1, 6.013, 6.2. We feel really good when we can secure that interest rate over a 30-year loan. you will see a lot of interest rates up in the sevens. If your loan officer is telling you their interest rate is up in the nines, in the tens, in the 13s, shop around. There is someone somewhere that has lower rates, more competitive rates, and fees. Okay. Loan option flexibility, basically just offering a variety of loans. So you're going to hear when you talk to a lender, you're going to start to hear things like, well, do you want a conventional loan, an FHA loan, a VA loan, a USD loan, a reconstruction loan? There's lots of different products out there, okay? One of the best products is if you live in Wisconsin and you qualify. I'm hearing from lenders everywhere, they get so excited about WIDA. WIDA is a Wisconsin-based state funding grant loan program. It's like a conventional loan, but it actually offers free money for families of a certain income that qualify. And so these are things you want to find out. Okay, this is where my income's at. And a great loan officer, when they run your numbers and they find out what your household income is and what your debt to income ratio is, and they look at your credit score, they're going to see a financial snapshot of your life. And they're going to be knowledgeable in knowing, oh, this family qualifies for a $2,000 grant or a $10,000 grant. And a grant is just that. It's a gift. It is a gift of money. And so there are no paybacks and there's no interest rate on that. It's a grant that comes through the state of Wisconsin. So just a variety of different loans to make sure that your family is getting a product that suits your needs. Okay. I know a lot of lenders who kind of are like, don't do an FHA loan. A lot of people hear FHA and they come in and they say, we need to get an FHA loan because that's the only language they have in the back of their mind. But oftentimes it is rigorous, and those loans choose a very specific appraiser. They've got their own set of appraisers, which again, your appraiser is going to value out the house and report back to the bank and say it's either worth it or it's not. And that can be a tedious thing for specific appraisers to have very, very, very stringent standards that they have to meet. And so it's not always in someone's favor to go with an FHA. So conventional loan is very common, and a VA loan is for people who have served, and then a USDA loan. So they can actually explain all of the options. And the way that they're going to know which loan is best for you is when you actually provide that financial snapshot. So I'm going to give you a list of 20 questions. I'll send it off to anyone who wants it on how to approach your first interview with a lender that you would like to work with. That at least gives you something to wrap your mind around so that you don't feel like you're sitting in a chair just like nodding or not trying to sound dumb. Because I think that's the two things that really intimidate people from calling a lender is they don't want to sound dumb, like they don't know what they're talking about, and they are afraid of their credit score. So just so you know, there are lenders that work with low credit. And the other big myth that lots of people think when they're approaching home ownership and lending is they must have a 20% down payment. That is not the case. You can get a loan for as little as 3% down. There are things, that can actually put together a financial plan, a payment plan that make your startup costs incredibly low. A lot of first-time home owners who qualify for grants can use those grants towards their down payment. So maybe you don't have a huge down payment to begin with. That's okay. So I would just say, my advice, you make sure that you shop around for who you want to work with. And when you're building a relationship with that person, because it is a pretty intimate relationship, you're opening up your whole financial life to someone, you want to make sure that person is clear and patient in their communication. They have competitive rates and fees. They have different loan options. They have a good reputation. Okay. Maybe don't, this is maybe not the case where you're going to want to vote for the underdog and go with the lender that way. You might want to actually stick to someone who has a larger organization with a lot of clout behind them in terms of how long they've been around, how they've proven themselves in the business world. And then, of course, ask for reviews, ask for referrals from friends that you know. Who did you use for your lender? How was your experience? You want someone who is responsive and organized. So I have a loan officer friend, a lender. We work closely together because we are typically making sure that our buyers have the best support through the process of the transaction. So I want to make sure they're hooked up with a great lender if they don't already have one. So one of my friends who is a lender, if I send him a message, I have like a near immediate response. He is like off the charts available, organized, right? So whenever I set a date to meet with a lender to talk through different products and what might be good for different clients, I get a calendar, invitation, because every one of my lenders is incredibly organized. You do not want to walk into your lender's office that has papers piled high and the office is a mess and there's coffee spilled everywhere. You just want to make sure that you are being taken care of. So take a look at how organized they are. And then the last thing, and this is so important, is a good lender does not pressure you or throw in hidden fees. Okay, so how do I know if there's going to be hidden fees? Well, beware of lenders who push one product without explaining why. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you. So there are lots of products out there, and lenders will typically make commissions based off of what loan they're able to supply you with. If you've got one lender who's like, no, what you really need is this. Well, why do we really need that? Because you need it. Do I? Well, no pressure, no hidden fees. Okay, find a human who is very interested in helping people get home ownership. Okay, secure home ownership. And if it ever starts to feel like they're just securing you a loan instead of securing you home ownership, that can feel a little wonky, especially when we're talking residential. Totally different when we come to commercial, which is the wild west of real estate. And loans can feel different in that way because it's just not as personal. It's not a residence. It's not going to be your home. So that is my quick blurb, you guys, on basically shopping for a lender. Don't be intimidated about calling somebody. With the list of questions that I provide you, there's 23 questions on here, so it's more than 20 questions. You will feel well equipped to go in and just say, okay, tell me about this. Talk to me about this. What does my credit score need to be? Do I need pre-approval or pre-qualification? What is the difference? What's your current interest rate? Are the rates fixed or are they adjustable? Explain to me what APR means, okay? Annual percentage rate. What type of down payments are required? So there's just a bunch of questions that will help you feel like you are getting a very clear picture on what your financial game is going to be as you are purchasing a home. And I can't help stressing that those characteristics are going to be so important when working with a loan officer. Shop around, find somebody that feels trustworthy. They don't feel like they're pressuring you or pushing one product your way, and you're going to do really well. Don't be afraid about your credit score. Don't be afraid that you don't know what you're talking about. Most really good lenders understand this is quite a large learning curve, and some lenders just enjoy working with first-time home buyers for that very reason. And I would personally choose someone who is in the finance world as a lender, who has had a previous job as a teacher. Those are the good ones. A teacher, a waitress. Really good to really build up that customer care. Okay, just that sense of serving. I'm here to serve you. And they are. You hire them, they work for you. So picking a good lender and picking a good real estate agent is a really great way to wrap yourself into a very supportive team as you move forward in this decision. So I hope that's helpful, and I will see you guys next time as we chat through Real Talk with Realtor.